about programs that we do in workforce as well as in development and engagement. But when you were talking earlier, and I think this is a great innovation on Russell, by the way. Also, I've worked with Amir Ramani before, and he's a phenomenal professor, great to work with, especially in developing curriculum and engaging with students. So it's great to see that you've had the experience work too. There were two innovations that came when I was undergrad at Stony Brook on the digital side that were really exciting. They both happened in my sophomore year. I'm 38, so I graduated in 2009, and that year was thefacebook.com. What is this? And all on, and you had to have a Stony Brook, you had to have a university ID. Only, this is core grandma, you know. So this is when Facebook was still pure. And you get on, and the first thing you do is you put in your email address, and then you load your class roster in. And I'm like, oh, why would you do that? And you put it in, and you can see everyone who's in your class, and it would link it to that. So it's kind of creepy in retrospect. The other one was ratemyprofessor.com came out. I was like, wow, what's this? You can basically bash your professors anonymously, see who's easy. And the category they had, and we've gone through a lot of changes since then, it was amounts of reading, tests, approachability, office hours. And so all these scores you could rank them on. And then would take again. And then there was an icon, and the icon was a chili pepper. And I was like, what's this for? So everyone was using it. It's like, why would there be a chili pepper there? And that was, no joke, say whether or not you thought the professor was hot. So I was like, this is horrible. Like in retrospect, so this is like what the 2000s were like in the tech innovation world in higher education. We've come a long way. We still have a lot of work to do, but this is what was going on college campuses in 2006, 7, 8, and 9. So what I started, like I said, as an undergraduate employee, and that really gave me a sense of what Stony Brook had to offer. I met a lot of great people. I was not an engineer. I'm not an innovator or an entrepreneur, at least in the sense that, products are being developed or innovations are taking place. What I've been able to do is work with those people and help connect innovators and entrepreneurs to the community through exposing their technology, creating events such as this, and bridging those gaps between prioritized populations, industries that are being served, but as well as could use the technology, and then some kind of funding agent, whether it's the government, whether it's a utility, whether it's industry. And what's great about doing these types of programs is, most importantly, they're fun. And so when we're able to go out there and have a good time, do events like this, do hackathons, do workforce development events, people are having a good time, they're getting something out of it, but at the same time it's promoting not just the brand of Stony Brook, but whatever the technology is that the program is centered around. So I'm able to do a lot of flexible things in the areas of both CWIT and the Advanced Energy Center, from offshore wind training, to hydrogen, to HVDC, which is high voltage direct current, how power comes from offshore wind and gets onshore, and I work with a lot of great smart people. And what's great about that is I have been able to learn about these technologies, not being an engineer, not being on the tech side, and be able to at least get to that conversational level that I can talk about it fairly confidently, at least to my wife and kids, and then be able to relay that to the other communities that are then wanting to learn more about it at a higher level. So what I'm able to do is go into the schools, go to Eastern Suffolk BOCES, go to Suffolk Community College, and talk to these people about what Stony Brook can do, not just for the degree granting programs, but our workforce training programs, our community engagement, and really just making sure that people who know about Stony Brook have an experience here, any of these technological areas. What we've also been able to do is use workforce at K-12 as a way to bridge back to campus. Post-COVID, we were at the R&D park, we were really cut off. I saw when Hannah asked earlier how many people have ever been to the R&D park. One person raised their hand. They don't know where we are. We're kind of in our bubble. Everyone enjoys the workforce at K-12, and not just because it's fun, but because it brings people to Stony Brook and it gets people excited about Stony Brook. So when we use these initiatives, we're able to go in, talk to companies, and work with people. Like we did a Rand Women STEM program for Longwood High School, which is a high school here on Long Island. It's an economically underserved high school, and I spoke with their principal, who was here at the hackathon, and he said, "Yeah, what are you doing for girls in STEM?" And I said, "Nothing." It's like, well, what do we do about that? So we worked with our Chief Diversity Officer, Judy Brown-Clark, and we developed a high school women in STEM career awareness program. And through that, we were able to take 20 girls from Longwood, and over 4 sessions here at Stony Brook, give them almost like these teaser workshops in areas that were created by the subject matter experts here, because they were also giving back to the community, but also got to highlight their school. So we sent them for a day to the School of Health Professions, where they learned about clinical healthcare jobs. They spent the day with us at CWIP, they learned about renewable energy. They spent the day with the UX designer at CWIP. And then we brought in our oldest center for communicating science, and they talked to them about how to communicate their journey to a scientific audience. So when we do activities like that, what we're able to do is bring in innovators and entrepreneurs who have ideas about how to engage better with the community that really everyone benefits from highlighting a new technology, to talking about our company's profile, to giving back to communities. A lot of times, not just our alumni who are local, but also our faculty and our industry partners, they want to work in the communities that they're serving, or doing work in. For example, Hogland. You've probably all seen those trucks on the road. Hogland repairs a lot of the overhead power lines. They're also doing all the cabling from the offshore wind project, Sunrise Wind. Hogland, I work with them. I talk to them probably more than I talk to my own colleagues on a weekly basis, because we work with them to make sure that school districts that they are impacting through their infrastructure projects are getting the first opportunity, not just to the jobs, but to the resources and training. So we developed a program called the Summer Youth Employment Program, where 20 students from these 4 school districts that that Hogland is kind of affected through these infrastructure projects, they get bused and given lunch, brought to Stony Brook or Brookhaven Lab, community college every day for 7 weeks. They're paid $16.50 an hour by the Suffolk County Department of Labor. And at the end, they've learned about renewable energy, they've got hands-on training in soldering and welding, and by the end, these students have not just earned $3,000, but they've also gotten that sense of, wow, I could have worked at McDonald's this summer, but I also got to learn about energy instead. And one of our students came back recently and she said, I just got into Stony Brook Civil Engineering program, I'm so excited. And I was like, wow, that's like, so 1 out of 20 got into Stony Brook. Are they all going to come to Stony Brook? No. 2 came back because they're also going to be doing a drone program for these students as well, that they're getting paid. And 2 said, they go, I might end up at Stony Brook one day, but I'm going to Suffolk next year. And I said, that's great. I don't care where you go. I don't even care if you go to college. I would say that to any non-conservative folks, so I can say that. But all I care about is that we're giving you exposure to all the pathways and the off-ramps that you can access through Stony Brook programs. So if you want to go and learn how to be a welder, I'll put you on that pathway. I can't train you to be a welder here at Stony Brook, but I can connect you with the people at Suffolk who come up with a welding program. And then check in with you and see like, hey, do you want to continue maybe on an engineering pathway? No, but I connect you to Hogland to see if you want a pre-apprenticeship and you can do a job there. So having that agility and flexibility, that is, I think, it's an essential key also for innovation and entrepreneurship, because things always pop up at a different time. How are we doing workforce programming during COVID? Well, that was really difficult. We couldn't do hands-on training. We couldn't go to job sites. So what we did was we figured out, okay, maybe we could come up with another program. We could do something online. We could use Zoom. And the governor's office called us and said, Stony Brook has all this money for offshore wind. You better be coming up with some training soon. So what do you want us to do? We're all inside. They're like, well, you need to give us a program by Thursday. So my former boss and I, we called the Dean of Engineering, the Dean of Business, and the Dean of SOMAS. Said, all right, what can we do? What can really highlight Stony Brook? And we said, well, how do we come up with Offshore Wind 101? And we developed 60 hours worth of curriculum. John was a part of that at that time. And Pat and I were calling you guys and having Zooms all the time to figure that out. And we came up with this curriculum, and this curriculum that we came up with by having subject matter experts, people who have already written content like this, and turn it into that non-credit format by being agile and flexible, led to summer youth employment I just talked about. Because we were able to take content from there, break it down for different audiences, and keep giving it to different groups based on their skill level, meeting them where they're at. So the only thing I would say is probably like, what does all this workforce community engagement have to do with innovation and entrepreneurship? The only tip I can give you with that is the ability to be both agile and flexible. Being able to change when things pop up, because things will pop up, whether it's your financing issues, people getting different opportunities to go somewhere else, life issues, public health issues. Hopefully we don't experience that, but that's things that do pop up and screw things up. I see it, my wife is an entrepreneur, she runs her own business. I hear about the terms that Ben and Hannah have been using, and I'm thinking about some horrible dinner conversations, and I was like, oh God. So now I get it. I'm gonna go home, I have like 10 apologies to give, because now I've actually been given some knowledge of what you all go through. So thank you for that. I've also vindicated her, so
Sorry.
Nice. But yeah, so I'm really excited that you're here. What we need to be doing from the workforce side is engaging with you more. How can we, and we think we've got some good feedback so far, but stay engaged with us. I hope that you look at potential opportunities in both workforce and K-12, and speaking with the next generation of innovators and entrepreneurs, what you can both give back and then get from people above you. Do you want to meet grad students? Do you want to meet some postdocs? The people in industry that you're really excited about? Check out our LinkedIn. Ask us, hey, you have a second degree connection to this person. I'd love for you to introduce us. We'll do it. We're happy to do that. We forge connections all the time. Think of us almost as like a broker for contacts and for networking. We're happy to always forge introductions. So I know sometimes people here in today's session have said that they've struggled sometimes with either getting alumni or professors or other people in industry to get back to them. You won't have that issue with our office. We are really here to help and to connect you to really get you where you're going. That's another one of the pathways we're trying to provide. So that's everything from the community side.
We're happy.